This is Michael McCain, and you're watching the TBM Network.
Well, coming up, don't forget, we are giving away tickets to see the Ice.
Is that your jam, Dee?
That's the football,
Is that your jam?
funky football. Okay, but you have to wait until I say call. And what are your excuses for not starting your own business? Maybe you can with the right information. And we have someone for you coming up. It's author, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, Dr. Michael McCain. He's coming up after the break.
Welcome to the jungle.
Answer this question. Are successful businessmen and women born, or are they developed? Can you run a successful business? What would it take for you to pull that off? Dr. Michael McCain is the author of The Newborn Entrepreneur, a personal tool for advancement and advice for entrepreneurs pursuing their dreams of starting their own business. And he's with us this afternoon, and we're answering some of the questions that you posted on Facebook. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
And that's a question, Dr. McCain. Are entrepreneurs born, or are they developed?
I believe a bit of both. You know, there are people that come with that innate sensibility that they are born to do something great, and that is the thing that drives them to get things accomplished in life. And there are those that go through different changes in life, such as rediscovering themselves, reinventing themselves after different crises, and finding out that they should pursue their real passion, and they, so to speak, begin to develop what really needed to come out of them.
Okay, and we're going to start with you early in life, you know, because there are people who are saying, you know what, oh, and I hear this all the time, Dee, you came from a stable family, you came from this, that's why you are who you are. And I would say, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, at a certain point, you do what you have to do. Do you believe that? Because you say that you started life rocky in foster care.
Yes, I grew up 10 years in foster care. I had a wonderful but strict mom.
Which is good, Michael. That's good. You stayed on top of it.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And I'm glad to be able to say that I did not turn out to be a statistic as most children who grew up in foster care. I was never really a bad kid at all. I just struggled with depression from missing my family and things of that nature. But I overcame those things, and one of those outlets for me was writing.
So you grew up in New York, in the Bronx.
Yes.
Where they are not playing. I mean, that is hardcore. Yes, it's a hard place to grow up.
Right.
So do you think going into foster care kept you from going in a certain direction?
Yes, it did. I didn't turn out like some of my family. I didn't turn out like some of my peers. I grew up with individuals that are dead. You know, children that I remember as a kid in our toddler years that are no longer here. Likewise, I did not turn out on drugs like some of my brothers and other family members and things of that nature. So in some sense, I say foster care saved me.
So are you saying, too, that in some sense that the outcome is a result of choices?
Right.
It's not always a result of things you cannot control, like who my mother is or where I'm growing up, but the choices you make once you're in that situation. Exactly. What choices did you make?
I made the choice not to make certain decisions and pitfalls going down the same road as some individuals.
Okay, I'm going to back you up. What decisions? What did you say? I'm not going to do...
I'm not going to end up on drugs.
Okay.
I'm not going to end up wandering the streets selling my body as some of the things that I did see as a child.
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Wow. Was that a hard decision? Because there's a pull. One of the reasons some people end up that way is because the connection to their family is stronger than that desire not to do wrong.
Right. I wouldn't say that it was so much a hard decision. It was what I felt was the best decision. I knew that the things that I saw in my environment was just not right. And I made the conscious choice that I did not want to turn out that way.
Okay. I'm loving this conversation. And I'm hearing some of the people that I talk to regularly, that I try to encourage. What would you say to them? Because that pull, and in particular in the African American community, but perhaps in other communities too, is it's too hard to walk away from my cousin them and my aunt them,
Right.
and because they're doing all that stuff. And some people, it's hard for them to walk away.
Right. You have to begin with yourself. What do you want for yourself? What do you want out of life? And several individuals around you, your family members, friends, neighbors, may be perfect examples of what you should not be.
Oh.
And those were the things that I looked at in my life. I took everyone's example, whether good or bad, and I made the conscious decision to use their life as a testimony for me to do better. There's always the temptation. Temptation is there every day, but you have to make the conscious choice to choose better for yourself.
Wow. Okay. All right. I'm loving this. Okay, so you make that conscious choice. And then the other part, too, is it is not easy.
Right.
I think people want to say, okay, I'm going to do well, and they want it to be easy. It's not. What you did was not easy.
No, it's not.
So how did you deal with the hardness of it, the loneliness of it? Because if you separate, there is a time until you make new friends and acquaintances, you're going to be by yourself.
Right. My best friend was a pen and a notebook.
Oh.
Which is what I would do. I would sit and write for hours, sometimes for days. I wasn't a normal kid. I wouldn't go outside to play much. You know, a book and a pen was my best friend.
Wow.
I would spend time writing short stories and poetry and things of that nature. So innately, I always knew that I would be an author. I always knew that I would make that accomplishment.
I'm loving this because you had to accept, Michael, that you were different. And I think that's where so many young people, they don't want to be different when there's nothing wrong with being different.
Yes. Yeah. Even my foster mom would say, you're just strange. You're just not normal. You're not like other kids.
Well, I've raised some strange ones, so I understand. And strange isn't bad. Love you, son. Okay. All right. Yes, strange is good. And I say, it may seem that it's hard now and it's difficult, but we have to deal with situations in life, and you could have dealt with it any way. You chose to deal with it with the pen and paper. Some choose to deal with it with drink, alcohol, sex, drugs.
Right.
We're going to deal with it some kind of way.
Right. Usually those suppressed feelings and emotions, they do come out in some ways, sometimes that are inappropriate. Mine's just happen to be an outlet through public speaking, through writing, through singing, participating in church activities.
So you can sing?
Just a little.
Okay. Okay. Me too. Okay, great. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Then at what point in your life did you know that I'm going to be Dr. Michael McCain, and I have a big dream? We're going to go to a break. Is that it? Yeah, they're showing me a wrap. Hold that thought. We'll be right back. We're going to have some specifics about how he decided what he's going to do and where he got where he is now. I hope it helps someone. We'll be right back. And we do have those tickets coming up later in the show.
Be with you, man. Just wanna be with you.
We're talking with minister, author, entrepreneur, Dr. Michael McCain, and we have just a couple of minutes, and I wanted to make sure that you gave them your wisdom about entrepreneurship. Where do you start?
Starting with entrepreneurship, the best thing I would suggest for anyone is to start with a plan, develop a vision plan, dare to dream. Just whatever your vision is, your goals are, begin to write them out. It doesn't even have to make sense or be in any type of sequence. Just get it out. And once you get it out, organize it and begin to work on what it is that you plan to achieve in life.
How important is it that they find those people who can bring them along, a mentor?
Yes, mentorship is like the second thing on the list, the second number one thing on that list, to find people who are already busy doing the things that you really desire to do, and allow them to take you under their wing and teach you the things that you may need to know, to learn, to grow, and to be that successful person you desire to be.
Wow. And failure. Some people are afraid of failure. And they think that if I do this, I'm going to look bad in front of my girlfriend or my wife or someone. But failure is part of life, is it not?
Right. You're bound to fail in several areas at chancing things, just like the guy Colonel Sanders, who founded KFC. He received 1,000 no's before he received a maybe. Someone who was willing to look at what he wanted to do and accomplish and gave him a definite yes. So you'll be faced with many oppositions and no's and doors slammed in your face, but you have to continue to have that drive, that tenacity that you will accomplish what it is that you set out to do.
Oh boy, we've got about 60 seconds, 1 minute. He has several books. This is just the latest, The Newborn Entrepreneur. Let them know the titles and where they can get your books.
Sure. You can purchase The Newborn Entrepreneur via Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com.
Thank you so much for being with us, and I wish you much success.
Thank you.
You have quite an extraordinary life, and you've just been very inspirational to me. Can I get that Dee Armstrong hug? Okay. Thank you so much for being with us. And I look forward to hearing from you, okay, in the future. And we'll be right back after this. We have more coming up. We do have those Isley Brothers tickets coming up, so what we want you to do, let's see, is it time for them to say, don't go away? It's time to call right now. It is time. The hottest tickets in town to see the Isley Brothers. Call now. We're playing with the 8th and the 9th callers. If the 8th caller doesn't answer all of the questions, because the show is tonight, the 9th caller gets your tickets. Okay, 706-569-9390. Call right now.
We'll be living in a world